Hi everyone, it's Monica from One Stamping Corner. Today's card is from the Occasions catalogue. This one is on page 37. It's a children's card, a little boy's card. It's from the Magical Day bundle. This one can be for boys or girls because it's got the mermaid, the dragon, the unicorn, the wizard and the little knight, which I think is really cute. And here's the one I've actually used today on the card. So I will give you another quick look at the card. There's a little knight there, and that's the inside with the dragon stamped on there. So for the supplies, I'll quickly go through those with what you'll need. First of all, you'll need the Magical Day bundle, stamp sets, the nice red one, and the framelits here. And the framelit I used, here we go. It's a little knight framelit, and you've got the wizards and the dragons. It's got lots of really fun things in there. So I'll just pop him back. I used, for the number 4, I used the large framelits dies, which are really great. Kids always love their age put on the front of the cards. Only when you get older that you're not so keen, but they do really enjoy it. And that's on page 215 in the annual catalogue. Well, I use the paper that, the glimmer paper, which the Miss and Magical glimmer paper. You get 24 sheets in this pack, 3 colours, and you get 8 of each sheets. So you get the Dazzling Diamonds, the Bermuda Bay, you can already see I've cut some out, and it's like a greeny gold colour, which is a really pretty colour. They come in a 6x6 pack, which is good, nice and easy to handle. You can just put them straight through your big shot. The ink pad I used was the Bermuda Bay and the Calypso Coral, which are the colours in here. And I stamped the sentiment and the knight in the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I used the stitched circle framelits for the background and for the sentiment as well. So I used the second largest for the aqua colour, the Bermuda Bay, and I used the second one for the sentiment there. I also use the watercolour pencils to colour the knight in. You can store these in DVD cases, they fit in perfectly, the set of 12. Stampin'Up sell these in a bundle of 4 for about $10. And I store a lot of other things in them. I store my diamantes in them, your little sequins. They come in handy for all sorts of things. I've taken the colours out that I'm using today, and also I'm using a blender pen which comes in a pack of 3. It has a special liquid inside it which helps with your watercolouring and makes you look like a really good artist, and you don't have to be a good colour-inner at all. So that's those. And I did use 3 sequins which I've got here. I know it's a boy's card, but I thought they weren't really girly colours and it just added a little bit extra to it. They're actually from the Tutti Frutti suite, so I just took some of those and we'll put those aside. So I'll go through. I also used glue dots, mini mini dimensionals and the regular size dimensionals. So I will get for the card. To make the card, you will need Bermuda Bay cardstock, which is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 and scored at 4 1/8. The insert of my card, as you know, I do like to always put an insert of my card. That's 4 inches across by 5 7/8. The front of the card, which is from the paper pack, that is the Miss and Magical Specialty DSP. They're all really cute, but I did pick the one with the dragons and the knight on it, and I cut that out at 3 7/8 by 5.5, just to get that little nice border going on there. The Whisper White here is just so that enough just to stamp the little guy out and your little sentiment. And you need at least a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 for the stitched oval framelits, and that's for that size there. As you can see, I've already used that. So I'll put those aside. It's a nice, easy, quick card to do. I have pre-cut everything, so that makes it easier. Let's put those aside. All the measurements and the supplies will be on my blog. So if you don't have time to write them down, that's fine. Just go to my blog and I will have them down there later on tonight. So also I used some of the shimmer grey ribbon, which was actually one of the free celebration items that came in the 3 pack of ribbon, and the grey looks really, gives it a little bit of extra pop there. So first of all, I'm going to put a glue dot on each end of the ribbon. I find glue dots are just really easy to manage with ribbon. You don't have to wait for it to dry. I put one on each end and I put one in the middle to keep the ribbon straight. There we go. And I'll just pop that in the middle there. And it holds nicely like that. Straighten that up. And you can use a runner, your tape runner, or the old Tombow glue. As you know, I like the Tombow glue, so I'm just going to put a bit on that. Gives me that little bit of wiggle room, keeping that straight. Go. So now we will stamp our sentiment. I always like bringing my mat. Sometimes the surface on the desks are not really very straight, so I like to have that underneath it. So I use my Memento Tuxedo ink to stamp my little knight. Doesn't matter where you stamp him, as long as he's got enough room to use the framelit to cut out. While I'm doing that, I will also stamp my sentiment, because then you can put it through the big shot at the same time. And I'll just pop him up there. Doesn't matter if it's crooked or not, because you can use the oval framelit to however you like. So you just line it up like that and pop that through. So the colours I'm using, I'm just going to use my colours here. I'm using the dark grey on his sword, and you just have to roughly colour it in. You don't have to be really careful, because when you use the blender pen, it makes it look really good. The grey there is just to get the metal colour. I find colouring in really therapeutic. I love colouring in. And you don't have to be careful, as you can see. I'm just really rushing this through, so you don't have to spend a long time colouring. And I'm using the black as a little bit of a contrast for his glove and his cuff there. And I'll just add a little bit more black there and black on his, I think they're trousers. Okay, so that's enough of that. For his shield, I'm using the pumpkin pie. So it doesn't matter if you don't colour in right to the edges, because the blender pen will blend that right in for you. And the other one is Calypso Coral. My pencils do need sharpening. I do have my niece and nephew, they do like to make cards and they like to use the blender ins to colour in. And for the feathers, I've used Bermuda Bay. So I'm just doing every second feather in the Bermuda Bay just to give it a bit of colour. And the other one is Pacific Point. So you'll see how quickly that comes together. And that's it for the colouring. So I'll put those aside. Now all I need to do is bring a blender pen and do a bit of scratch paper, or a bit of scrap paper. And you just go over it and it pulls all the colour out and it just blends it like magic. So I'll do all the black first. This is the longest part of the card. So to when you want to go to another colour, all you do is just wipe the colour off till it's clean, and then you go over the lighter one. And you just pull the colour right up to the edges there. That's why you don't really need to worry too much about how close you get to the edge, because it just all fills it in for you. Makes it all smooth, like magic. Well, I think I've used that word twice now. Okay, we'll go on to the shield. You can see that I haven't brought the colour right to the edges, and this one here will just pull all the colour out for you. I'll just scratch that off. And we just got his helmet left. And we're done. So all I would do now is run that through the Big Shot. And this is the one I made earlier. So that's all come out earlier. And I've already pre-cut the number 4 as well. So I'll put that aside. So this one I can make another card out of that. And what we'll do now, bring him back. Now all I did was just added some dimensionals on the back of this one here. See, these are double-sided paper, which is really pretty, and the pink you can use to make a mermaid card. I've done that, that looks really pretty. And I'm just going to actually put that just right in the middle. And with the sentiment, I'm just going to glue that on. Again, you can use the tape runner or the liquid glue. Put that in the middle. And we have an extra little piece of paper there. And I did a mixture of miniature ones and regular size dimensionals there. I'm going to use my tweezers because they are little and they'll stick to my hand. So I'll just place him there. And number 4. The mini dimensionals are really good for the numbers. They just fit in perfectly. I used to have to cut them up, the big ones up in pieces. Now they brought these little ones out. They're really great to use. Now I don't really want to cover him up because he looks really cute, so I might just put the 4 up there, just up a little bit more. Okay, so now what I did was I brought in these little sequins which already have the glue on the back. Oh. Take the glue with me. And last one. And then all we have to do now is the inside of the card. So just pop that aside. So in the card I put, I hope your day is magical, which with that one I used the Calypso Coral, and then I stamped a dragon in the Bermuda Bay. So I will just, here we go. I'm going to bring my mat back, so I prefer using that. Now if you're interested, the retirement list has come out of all the products that we'll be retiring before the new catalogue comes out. So you can go to my blog and just click on shop and it'll take you straight there. And you can have a look. There's lots of really lovely things retiring, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. So I think 1st of June. So 31st of May will be the last that you can get them. So have a look. There's lots of nice things there. And the dragon. Like that. And what I did was just to colouring me, sorry, wrong card here. I just got my Bermuda Bay pencil and I just went over his belly a little bit. And then use my blender pen. Just blended that. And I used a little bit just to bring it out. Just add a little bit of colour. There we go. So we'll just have to put him inside the card. I'll be loading up some photos from my Sydney trip. Maybe tonight or tomorrow. And I can't show you the catalogue, but I will be able to show you the front of it, I think, but I'll just double check before I do that. And if I'm allowed to, I will do that tomorrow so you can have a look on my Facebook page. Okay, so there we go, there he is, all done. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I'll be back next week for another one. And until then, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.